My name's Leah Myers of Myers Design Studio, and I'm here today to discuss on how to make yo-yos. You can make them out of scrap fabric in your stash, and it goes pretty quickly. And the good thing is you don't need a sewing machine. You could just do these by hand anywhere you are with a needle and thread and scissors. And I hope you enjoy this segment on how to make a yo-yo. And I even discuss a little bit on how to make them into a block. uh, my quilt behind me here has a lot of yo-yos. I've made them sort of like in a vine, on a vine, and then I made them look like flowers with leaves on them. And I've made little leaves out of applique fabric. I mean, batik fabric, and I made it in an applique piece. And I almost kind of want to add a few more leaves and a few more yo-yos on these here. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this segment on how to make a yo-yo. I hope you learn that, and I hope you use it. And thank you for watching today. Okay.
There are three different kinds of yo-yo makers that I know of. There's a small, medium, large. This is the medium one. It is 60 millimeters by Clover. It has two parts. One part is the bottom, and this is the top, and this has little ridges on the top. And there's little knots on the ends. You want to, when you put your fabric on, you want to match this little ridge to that knot on the end right there. So, and I'll tell you why. So that, see, that's lined up, and they're all lined up if you look. And if you look, there are the little holes for the, where the thread goes through. All of it. So you just take, you take a pretty flower fabric here. Will it fit? Yes, it fits. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this so it's more manageable. Make sure I've got enough. Yep, that next one I'll have enough there too. And it's a good scrap buster, as I said before. And so I pretty much just have the knots lined like up, and then make sure I get that lined up. And you can move it if it's not right, and then you just click it into place. Yeah, you'll hear it click, and it's square. It's lined up right there. And so if you got some overhang like I do here, just cut it about a 1/4 inch around. Does not have to be perfect. And the other thing I was thinking that you could do with these yo-yos is that you can actually make circles. And I just want to do a little experiment about how you can make circles with yo-yo makers. Because look, it's folded perfectly in a circle, right? They're usually the hardest thing to accomplish when you're making a quilt full of circles. So I was thinking that you could possibly make circles with yo-yo makers. Anyway, here's a big old needle. You don't need to use such a big needle. And then you can, oops, make a knot. And to make a knot is you put your thread between your thumb and your finger like that, first finger. You wrap it around the string around them, and then you just sort of squish the thread together and roll it on your finger, and then grab that little roll, and that just creates a knot. Give it a little tug just to make sure it doesn't come apart, and that is the fast way. So when you see quilters do this, you know, do this real fast, or sewing people who sew do that, and then they have a knot. That's why. Woo! It's a fast knot. Anyway, little magic there. So yo-yo makers, probably everybody knows how to do this, but I'm going to demonstrate anyway, just in case. You start on the inside up and put your thumb on the edge of the fabric like that. And I have enough of a knot here that I can grab it later, and you'll see why. Then you go through this little open space right here. Do not go through, put the stitch over this. Ask me how I know that. Yes, I did a whole yo-yo stitch to the template. And it's just an over and under all the way around. Over and under, over and under, over and under. Making sure you're doing it in the spaces. You know, up and down. And keeping that thumb, all right. There we go. It's a big needle. It'll work though. Big needle. You just use a regular sewing needle. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. The red fabric is also, I mean the red thread, fabric, I was going to say fabric, string, and then I finally got the thread. It's just the way my mind works. I'll call the roll on something. If I'm looking at something, I'm like, I'll think of about 4 different names before I get to the right one, but that's just me. And over and under, and it does not take but a second. And once you start rolling with these, you know, you could take them anywhere. And I'm always keeping the fabric down with this thumb, holding it down so it doesn't flip up, because you want every stitch to grab that fabric. And I think what I do is I pretty much reposition it every time I put the needle in. See, put that thumb there. Ooh. Okay. All right. Now it's like, oops, keeps getting stuck on those little knots. I'm almost done. I also look at this little template thing, and I wish that I had invented it. It reminds me of 2 coffee can lids. This one would be the top of the lid, and then someone took a second lid and cut it so it would fit on the inside. I know this is how this happened. And then they thought, hey, I can drill a hole. Oh, it keeps doing that. Drill a hole on the top, make little slits, and I can make a yo-yo maker out of this. Somebody did that, I know, but I don't know really. I haven't looked it up, but this is what I think of every time is it's a coffee can lid. It's probably true, it may not be true, but that's what I think of every time I see this. And I also think, why didn't I invent that? Also. So, all right. If I could just, there we go. In there, in there, in there. All right. And last stitch. You'll know that because you're at the beginning right here. And we're still getting stuck on the side. Okay. So just take the string off, and you want to push up with your index finger or A finger, it doesn't matter which one. Just push it up, and then you've got a perfect circle like this. And I was just wondering just now if you could just take this off this template, which I did. I was just wondering if you could just iron that and then make a perfect circle without cinching it up. Let me just check. I've got my iron hot here. Let me get off camera real quick and see if I can do this, if it will stay. And this is not going to hurt anything, but I'm constantly looking for new ways to do circles, and I'm wondering if this will make a perfect circle without using any interfacing. If I just carefully iron that edge down, because it's already crimped in a circle, and it looks like it will. See, I just carefully ironed that. So if you were making a quilt that had a whole lot of circles, you could just use the yo-yo maker crimp it, um, I guess do a stitch around, because it's actually just a basting stitch, right? Because it's really big. But anyway, we're on this episode, we're making yo-yos, not circles. So, but definitely a speed thing for circles. See, it's perfect in a circle, so that's great. Instead of doing that sticky interfacing or any sort of glue, that would be good. So when you get this done, you want to hold the two tails with this hand. Do not pull hard. With this hand, kind of press in. Either one, you can do either one. It could be this hand or that hand. Doesn't matter. Just as long as one hand is working. The other hand is pulling. And you want to even it out, kind of even it out there. Make it round, and it makes this little bitty circle that's cinched up. And now, just make a knot. I make 2 overhand knots. I'm gonna make this string a little less long, so it's not for huge. Okay, 2 overhand knots. Well, I did a good job on that. I can't even see it. All right, here we go. There's 3, sorry. There's 1, 2, and 3, just for good measure. I do not have problems with this pulling out. Do not. It's just fine. And I take the scissors. You could like bury the tails somewhere maybe, but I've never had them come apart. And there's a yo-yo. So when you're designing a block, like you have scrap blocks, you can put, you know, yo-yos in a few different ways. You can also make some leaves, and I've got a bunch of yo-yos here. Let's see, let's do a big sparkly one. And then another thing is, that's a huge print right there. And if you make a yo-yo out of it, it kind of scrunches up, and it appears a little bit smaller. It changes the composition of that yo-yo. And you can start designing a block. You can make, you know, like 3, let me see, some big yo-yos. Do one in the middle, like that. Spread them apart, just for an effect. You can make this appear like a flower, have this in there, you know, applique a stem. We'll just pretend these are leaves. This could be a leaf. A little yo-yos could be leaves. Got another green one here somewhere. Or, no, it's not green. Green. These could be leaves. You know, stagger them. Put a little stem right here. That would be nice. On a quilt, I did a series of these. Like, I would meander them. And I had a vine just going out like this, and then out of the vine I'd had leaves come out. And for that quilt, to sew this on, and I'll use the bigger one for this, I dropped my feed dogs, and I just had a zigzag stitch, and I did it about 7 or 8 times in the middle, 7 or 8 times, you know, on the edges. I think I did across, I think I did about 5. 1, 2. And I would do it near the edge. I would do it like right here, near the edge, about 1/4 inch of the way. Just a tack stitch, it's tacking it. 7 or 8 times, a zigzag, you know, drop the feed dogs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I just tacked it. I think I did it about 6 times. So it's like tacking every 1.5 inches. And what happens is when it washes, these little ends will curl up slightly, so it gives it a little bit of dimension. If you don't want that effect, people will applique these down all the way around. All the way around. You can use a buttonhole stitch or a zigzag. You can even do a straight stitch, you know, because you're doing it near the edge, not on the edge maybe. But if you do any of those techniques, I still, you know, like around, I would still tack this in the middle, like with a zigzag. You could do a wide zigzag here. That's what I did. It didn't matter if and it won't, I don't know why, but it doesn't hurt the pleats at all. So I did the zigzag here to hold that center down, and it washed really well.
Thank you for watching that segment on how to make a yo-yo. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe or comment if you wish. And I appreciate you watching very much. Thank you.